Little People, Big World, signs Zach and Tori Roloff would leave the show, why you should have seen it coming. Hello viewers, I am Alana, welcome back to my channel. USA Daily History for Roloff family latest news update. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon. After almost 2 decades, stars Zach Roloff and his wife Tori Roloff are leaving the long-running series at the end of its 25th season. The series initially focused on the marriage of Amy Roloff and her ex-husband, Matt Roloff. However, as time went on, the couple divorced and embarked on new relationships. While Zach, Jeremy Roloff, Jacob Roloff, and Molly Roloff have all made appearances on the show, the current storyline primarily centers around Zach, Tori, and their 3 children. Little People, Big World has chronicled the Roloff family's journey through substantial transformations over the years, including Amy and Matt's divorce, which was tough on their 4 children. As begins just as they planned to exit the show. In retrospect, their departure from the show shouldn't be a surprise, as there were many signs Zach and Tori weren't going to continue to participate in the series. Little People, Big World star. A fixture on the show since its debut in 2006 as one of Matt and Amy's children, the series has chronicled Zach's journey into family life, including his marriage to Tori and the birth of their 3 children, 5-year-old Jackson, 3-year-old Lila, and 10-month-old Josiah. Unfortunately, just days before the premiere of Little People, Big World Season 25, it was especially touching when little Jackson tried to help nurse his dad back to health. It was obvious Zach and his family would rather focus on his health and away from the camera of Amy and Matt's 4 kids. Zach was the only one who continued to appear on Little People, Big World and had a good relationship with his parents. It all blew up when Zach offered to buy the family farm when Matt suddenly pulled it off the market. The father and son haven't talked much since then, and their issues worsened when Matt started a relationship with Karen Chandler, a longtime family employee. Things got so bad that Zach and Tori wouldn't let Matt babysit their children. Zach, 33, made his reality TV debut as a teenager back in 2006. Little People, Big World chronicles Amy, Matt, and Zach's experiences living with dwarfism. Being on television is what I know, Zach said, and all the experiences that come with that. While he was filming Little People, Big World, and their journey expanded to include the arrival of their 3 children. During a recent episode of Zach and Tori's podcast, Tori proclaimed, "We are done. That part of our lives, that chapter has closed." During the same episode, Tori also referenced recent family conflict, saying, "I do feel like it was also time for us to move on because I didn't want, personally, to hate your family." During the same podcast episode, the Little People, Big World couple talked about how difficult it is to film with children, and Tori noted that Jackson, their firstborn son, had already started expressing not wanting to be involved with filming, despite a recent that showed Zach and the kids having fun on scooters. In the house, it's not always fun and games when filming with children. That being said, Zach and Tori made it clear that they do not blame their kids for their decision not to continue with the show. Despite Zach and Tori's various issues with filming the show, including Zach's feud with his father, Matt, the couple also acknowledged what they liked about filming the show, including since they have positive feelings about working on the show, the couple could return to Little People, Big World at some point in the future. However, it won't happen until Little People, Big World spoilers. Tori and Zach Roloff throw shade at haters in new video. Little People, Big World spoilers reveal that Tori Roloff and Zach Roloff are throwing shade at the haters who have shared their thoughts about their podcast, life, and social media posts. They recently decided to share their thoughts with all of the haters they have encountered online. They both have huge followings on, but this also means that they get positive and negative comments. Let's find out how they tackled the new hate they have gotten. For those fans who watched Tori and Zach on Little People, Big World, they have seen the couple grow and change. Now that they no longer have the rules of TLC, they have been more open about their personal lives and opinions. They don't always get the most positive messages from their followers. They do get plenty of scrutiny from fans of the show, but they have started to clap back at the haters. Tori has turned her career into being a mom influencer and gives her followers exactly what they want. She shares parenting tips and has received a lot of love from her diehard fans. On the other hand, a lot of her followers don't feel that sharing every moment with her children online is safe for them. Being a mother hits close to home for Tori, but now it looks as if she and Zach have another issue that they want to open up more about. Recently, Tori and Zach shared a video that got over 68 million views. The video showed the family playing and being silly. They had flashlights and were having a great time. There were quite a few negative comments about the video, and some of their followers were so rude that Tori and Zach knew that they had to be addressed. Point 3 of the comments did not sit well with the Roloffs. One read, "Stop reproducing." Another read, "Bro can easily find out if she cheat." And a final comment read, "Just, why? Poor kids." Tori and Zach decided to comment on these haters. They told these haters that they were just posting to get attention. Tori pointed out that these haters are just a cesspool of evil. As much as these comments are rude, the Roloffs know that they are just haters and won't dwell on it. Be sure to catch up on everything happening with Little People, Big World right now. Little People, Big World's Tori Roloff says her father didn't approve of her relationship with Zach. Tori and Zach Roloff talk about the start of their relationship, which began in high school. They wed in 2015 and have 3 kids. Tori and Zach Roloff talk about the start of their relationship, which began in high school. They wed in 2015 and have 3 kids. During the conversation, Tori reveals that, like many people, her family and friends had questions when she revealed that she was dating Zach, especially her father, who wasn't keen on the idea at first. "I can remember getting ready to go on a date with you and saying who you were and showing him a picture of you and him being like, 'No, what are you talking about?'" She recalls to Zach, "This is not the guy I pictured for you." He literally asked, like, "Are you sure?" multiple times. He was like, "I don't know about this." She adds, "Then he met you, and I joke all the time, but pretty sure my dad likes you better than me now. My whole family likes you more." Tori, 33, and Zach, 34, began dating while they were in high school in 2011. The pair tied the knot in 2015 on the Roloff family farm. Together, they are parents of Jackson, 7, Lilia, 4, and Josiah, 2. Tori says that when her father met Zach, his perception of him and the height difference changed. As far as the height difference though, he definitely overlooked that once he met you, Tori says. He was like, "Oh, I think I get it for her family and friends." They also had questions and concerns about their romance, but they let them go once they got to know Zach. "I think that there were questions when we started dating for my friends and family, but once everyone met you, they were like, 'Gosh, I get why this girl is into him. I get this scenario, I get this relationship.'" Height didn't matter, she shares. Zach notes that as a person with a disability, you want people to overlook the obvious physical aspect, despite how hard it may be. Tori had no issue doing that. "You look for all these things that are wrong when the person's not right for you," Tori says. "Once I met you, even though your height is different than what I would have imagined, there was nothing wrong with you. There was nothing that I could pick apart." Tori and Zach agree that they haven't faced a lot of public adversity during their relationship, but chalk that up to their Little People, Big World fame. The pair also note that tuning people out has also worked in their favor. "Outside opinions shouldn't matter," Tori says. "They could have kept me from happiness, and they could have kept you away from happiness as well. We didn't let other people's opinions come between us or our relationship." Tori and Zach's love story played out during their time on Little People, Big World. Zach's family, including his parents, Amy and Matt Roloff, and 3 siblings all appeared on the series since 2006. Earlier this year, the series with their kids at the end of the last season. Zach and Tori Roloff shockingly announced they're leaving Little People, Big World. Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff just announced their departure from. The TLC reality show follows the Roloff family as they deal with all sorts of drama in their lives, from who has control of the family farm to scary medical emergencies. After the show was off the air for over a year. In that time between the 2 seasons, a lot happened. One of the most worrying events was that which is a storyline that's been filmed for the show and the most recent episode of their podcast, Raising Heights. While she noted that Tori and her husband wanted to make it clear that they are done. "That part in our lives, that chapter has closed." Zach echoed her sentiment, adding, "We made it pretty clear we're done with that chapter for multiple reasons." Zach went on to note that the last cycle was rough, likely referring to the currently airing. He stated a couple reasons that made it rough, including various family drama like the farm deal. Tori bluntly revealed that she doesn't believe in Little People, Big World anymore, which made showing up to film even harder on the couple. Zach added that it's time to just say no to taking part in the reality TV show, and they're choosing to walk away for our own health, our own family, our own relationship. Zach and Tori fully acknowledged all the great things Little People, Big World has given them. Despite that, they are still ready to leave. Zach has never been in an uncomfortable situation before, financially speaking, and he's prepared to go down that path. And being on another reality TV show, but they want to see what other opportunities are out there. While Zach and Tori have hinted in the past that they were ready to leave Little People, Big World, this announcement still comes as a shock. Their exit will definitely have ramifications on the future of the TLC series. Enough to fill out an entire season's worth of drama-filled storylines. Tori even said as much on their podcast. Having said that, it will be very interesting to see how the dynamics of Little People, Big World change going forward without Zach and Tori. Little People, Big World. Did Zach have to win over Tori's dad? Zach Roloff had to win the approval of Tori's father after the couple began dating in 2010. They'll celebrate their 9th anniversary this upcoming July. The couple dated for 3 years before Zach proposed to Tori in April 2014, and were officially married 10 months later, in July 2015. The newlyweds began starting a family shortly afterward, and have since had 3 children together named Jackson, Lila, and Josiah. Zach began a podcast with after the two made a personal decision to leave the reality show that skyrocketed Zach and the rest of his family to stardom. Although Little People, Big World has been considered one of the best reality TV shows available right now, this career shift aligned well with their family's overall redirection, having relocated to Washington, and more importantly, away from the rest of the Roloff family located in Oregon. On their podcast, the happily married couple recently released an episode called The Truth Behind Mixed-Height Dating, where Tori recalls getting ready to go on her first date with Zach. She showed him a picture of her father, to which he immediately reacted negatively. But he was able to overlook their height difference after meeting Zach and getting to know him more. Tori says that her entire family now likes Zach more than they like her. Zach explains in the podcast that after attending a private Christian school in Oregon for 12 years, he adjusted to the 6-inch rule, which states that 2 people of opposing genders must sit 6 inches apart from one another. Zach still gets nervous when Tori tries to hold his hand in public, and in the beginning of their relationship, Tori was hurt by his need for space in comparison to her friends. However, he likes it now. Before Zach and Tori left the show, people questioned why Tori was with Zach, accusing her of perhaps having shallow intentions, clout chasing for example, and Tori dealt with speculation that she was only interested in Zach due to his success. Unluckily, Zach's positive relationship with Tori's family gives the duo an emotional support system. Zach and Tori Roloff need to stop complaining about Little People, Big World fame. Fans are angry at Zach Roloff and Tori Roloff after they explained why they're exiting the TLC reality show. Little People, Big World debuted in 2006 and centers on the Roloff family. There have been a lot of ups and downs between various family members through the years. One of the biggest bombshells surrounding the show is that Zach and Tori recently announced they will be leaving the series after the currently airing. The reaction to has been strong. Their podcast shared a clip on Instagram in which they discussed their upcoming departure. In the clip, Zach and Tori mentioned that reality TV can tear families apart and explained that it was hard being the middleman between his parents. However, fans in the comments section weren't pleased with what they were hearing. They is complaining about the situation, but as noted by Rhonda Payne Steely, Pat Reedy 318 thinks Zach and Tori should be more grateful, adding, "You complain about them, but you have a great life because of them." Meanwhile, K_Low72 believes since they're still putting their lives out in the public square via their podcast. Isn't this podcast and social media basically the same as reality TV? They asked. Most of the fans in the comments section claimed Zach and Tori were complaining too much, but they just need to let it go and move on, as said by Grace Forever 1980. Your dad has moved on just like your mom. Despite the overwhelming backlash to Zach and Tori's podcast discussion, Anetters24 understands the animosity towards Matt and his current partner Karen Chandler. Casey Campo hopes the Raising Heights podcast gives the couple an opportunity to continue showcasing who they are as individuals and as a pair. Nancy Newton, Art is really going to miss Zach and Tori on Little People, Big World, but understood that sticking around might not be the most healthy option. If continuing to be a part of Little People, Big World will be unhealthy for them, then it really is for the best that Zach and Tori are leaving. Reality stars constantly share moments in their lives that the public wouldn't otherwise see. The fans reacting to their podcast discussion do bring up a good point that the podcast is just a different version of a reality show. However, and they don't have to rely on anything unexpected that might come up from other family members. Little People, Big World, Zach and Matt Roloff's relationship status. Star Zach Roloff provided an update on his relationship with his father, Matt Roloff. Zach and his wife, Tori Roloff, have announced they will no longer be appearing on the show, and it seems may be for the best. In a recent episode of his and Tori's podcast, Zach addressed the state of his relationship with his father. Little People, Big World has followed the Roloff family for 25 seasons. In Oregon, where most of the family is employed, as they grew up and started their own families, leaving the spotlight on Zach and Tori. The complex dynamics of working on the farm together while also filming a reality show may have proved too much for Zach and Matt. Their relationship crumbled over business matters, with each side refusing to accept any blame. Zach and Matt previously had a close relationship, as shown on Little People, Big World. They spent a lot of time together working on the family's pumpkin farm, where Zach hosted personal tours of the property. However, Matt had retained the property after his divorce from Zach's mother, Amy Roloff. Matt divided the property and lived in a small double-wide, listing the large house for sale. All members of the Roloff family acknowledged the sentimental value of keeping the house within the family. But the father and son allegedly had some tense discussions, which also included Tori and Matt's fiancée Karen Chandler. Zach and Tori ultimately gave up on the purchase, and their relationship with Matt was damaged. Matt was never able to find a buyer at his desired price and resorted to listing the home as a short-term rental. On Little People, Big World, but they are still providing insight into their lives as the parents of 3 young children. On their podcast, Zach and Tori discuss parenting, their relationship, and updates about their family. The couple are honest with one another and appear to have a healthy relationship. And the second episode of Raising Height Season 2, Tori asked Zach questions submitted by listeners. When reflecting on his relationship with his kids, Zach acknowledged that part of growing up is realizing parents are not perfect, is not great, and then added that it's not existent. He explained that after filming for Little People, Big World ended, the family took some time apart, allowing them some space to process. But when the show aired, it stirred up hard feelings nearly a year later. Tori added that she and Zach do not keep their children away from their grandfather. Zach questioned whether there was more he and his family members could have done to reconcile. It's refreshing to hear him acknowledge that the blame might not be completely on his father. Zach tends to be too forgiving and must create boundaries with his family. Tori is often criticized for instigating the family divide, but she finds it necessary to encourage Zach to cut off toxic relationships because he can be too passive. As their time on comes to an end, it doesn't sound like Zach and Tori plan to reunite with Matt anytime soon. Once they're no longer forced to relive their disagreements on air, perhaps Zach and Matt will find the space they need to leave the past behind. For now, Zach is standing firm with the boundary he has created, even if it means he no longer has a relationship with his father. Little People, Big World's Zach and Tori Roloff slammed by fans after sharing miscarriage experience. Previous to this situation, I was very apolitical. But I think being in that room and being as traumatized as I was, it became black and white for me in that room, she explained to her husband. I'm not okay with this. Like, I would never choose to be this room, and I don't understand how someone could choose to be in that room. Although Zach, 34, addressed a small percentage of situations in which women are pregnant after being sexually assaulted, he compared the situation to driving while intoxicated. If I go out and have beers at the bar and drink and drive, get in an accident, I'm going to jail, it's a consequence I chose. Zach responded, We don't think about this, that the choice to have sex, that was the choice. We want to choose the consequence, the outcome. Tori reiterated that's why it was hard for her to get on board with the narrative that abortion was healthcare, adding, It's like no, 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 no. Viewers were quick to rush to the comment section to share their thoughts, slamming the TLC personalities for their privileged views. Yeah, done. Y'all start inserting your beliefs on others. I'm done with you. Bye, one user wrote. Meanwhile, another user added, You literally receive healthcare by getting a DNC when you lose a baby. That's on the table to be taken away when there's an abortion ban. The hypocrisy is unsettling here. Tori directly replied to the indifference in the comment section, writing, I 1000% see this point, and in that aspect, I see where it is necessary. If you listen to the whole episode, you'll realize that was not what I was talking about. I was talking about the women who choose to be in that room. And another response, she added, it is our podcast based solely on speaking what we are passionate about. Tori and Zach, who married in 2015, have 3 children. Tori has been open about the pregnancy loss she experienced before welcoming their third son, Josiah, in April 2022. Is Little People, Big World over? How Matt Roloff's feud with Zach Roloff ruined the show. Zach Roloff's time on has come to an end after an issue with his father which marred previous seasons of the show. Zach was 13 years old when he made his reality TV debut alongside his family in 2006 when Little People Big World Season 1 premiered. Over 18 years later, Fans have watched Zach grow from a teenager to a man with a wife, Tori, and 3 children, Jackson, Lila, and Josiah Roloff. Still, as the family's first child alongside his twin, Jeremy Roloff, Zach had a lot of expectations on his shoulders. Despite the family's early success on the show, things slightly changed on Little People Big World. Amy Roloff married